Hello YouTube. I would like to talk to you about the hot weather and how it affects the mood of people. I was reading in a magazine the other day, which is a magazine about the metaphysical stuff, spiritual stuff, that scientists, paranormal investigators have actually concluded that the heat affects people's mood, and that during the really hot months of the summer, when the temperature goes really high up, there has been more crimes because for some reason the hot weather affects the neurological system, and I guess it affects also how people behave, their behavior. So they say that most murders and hate crimes, they happen during heat waves. So I'm not sure exactly how they came up with that result, but I guess it's a similar effect that the moon has on women, and people in general, not just women, because women obviously are much more intuitive than men, and it also affects the menstrual cycle, our mood, hormones, the whole behavior. And about the moon also, they did a research a few years ago. I remember when I lived in Britain, and they did this research about when do they have the most emergency situations in hospitals, and they discovered that the most emergencies happen during the full moon. So that that alone is quite remarkable. To those that don't believe how the planets and the stars and everything affects people, there is actually some really ignorant people out there that don't even believe in astrology, and these people are in darkness. They don't know nothing about the truth. Astrology actually was the very first science that has been recorded in history of the civilization ever, from the Greeks to the Egyptians, the Romans, the Indians. All of these ancient civilizations were combining astrology with astronomy. It is because they were including everything spiritual, all of the spiritual aspects of a human person. But these days, modern science does not accept spirituality, which is wrong, because I believe that this happens for a reason. And the reason is because those that are in authority don't want people to awaken. They don't want you to be spiritually aware about how the universe is operating and how the planets affect you. So we have to rely on those that have actually studied parapsychology and astrology and all of the spiritual arts. So that's what I wanted to say. And now we are here in the middle of a heat wave actually, and astrologers say that there's going to be more terrorist attacks, there are going to be more murders, more that sort of thing, like hate crime. People get very, very irritated during the heat waves. I don't know how it is in the United States, but I noticed that especially in the southern states, such as, I'm not sure what are the southern states, yeah, there have been more crimes over there than up north. So in that article that I was reading about the heat, they said that nearly a year ago, last September, it was a remarkable event happened on the sun. There was actually big eruptions, and these are called flares on the surface of the sun. And those flares, those eruptions actually affected a lot of people, and some sort of a shift happened, a shift in the electromagnetic force, I guess, and people's behavior changed. I'm not sure if it changed for the better. I mean, it constantly changes because we are in the age of Aquarius now, and we have entered some sort of a twilight zone, actually, because there is so many events that happen very, very quickly, and spiritual events, and people don't even have time to actually absorb all of this and process it. That's because they have been left behind. And there is a major divide between people right now on this planet, because there is those of us that are absolutely aware of all of these events happening, and we prepare very well about what to do, and just a lot of preparation for these big shifts. And then there is those that are in the dark, and they actually refuse to come along for the ride, when they are left behind. And this is why I believe there will be some sort of a massive awakening, probably in the form, I don't think there's going to be a disastrous event. I don't think that's going to happen, because these things happen already. The earthquakes, the tsunamis, all of that stuff happens already. It's not going to be something tremendous and massive, but all of these little ones, they're actually going to reach a point of like a boiling point, where people are going to have to wake up either way. There will be nowhere left to run. This is how I perceive